Well, for the days I've been away, lots of stories have gone ahead to happen here onto the Rokani Media Football. And Hincapie is one of those stories that really came in through as a here we go to the club of Arsenal. And I really missed out on this because I was on my phone. I saw this here we go and I was like, oh my God, my people are really missing out onto this big story. And I tell you what, I'm here to obviously bring you the story. As I was streaming live, one of you came to me and told me, Rokani, you haven't gone ahead to obviously give us a here we go for a man known as Hincapie. And I'm here to let you know that I'm here to really make your dreams come true and really do this story. However much it happened on the 29th, because that's when Fabrizio Romano sounded the here we go, I'm here to let you know that I'm here to obviously do it 2 days later, and you know you guys are hugely gonna be welcoming this here we go and other here we goes that went ahead to happen in that spell of time. Garnacho and very many others, and Nicholas Jackson, you know, very many here we goes have gone ahead to obviously be happening in the previous 2 days where I've been away. Continue to subscribe because you know the duel. You want to hit the magic number of 28,000 subscribers, and we are left with 5 subscribers to hit 27,200. So please, on this video, I want us to get like 100 subscribers. You know, let's see ourselves really hit 27,300 subscribers onto this video, and continue to subscribe. And after subscribing, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful channel of ours. And Hincapie to Arsenal, it was a here we go, and Fabrizio Romano went ahead to obviously announce it and really said, Pierre, Hincapie to Arsenal, here we go. Deal in place with Bayer04 after agreement done with the player. New defender joins Arsenal on a fee of 52 million euros plus sell-on clause, with medical set to follow next, as David Austin reports. And one more top addition to the club of Arsenal. And that means it was David Austin that went ahead to obviously break the big story. And let's see what David Austin had to say about Hincapie to the club of Arsenal, because it was really very important to hear from the man that really broke the story. He said, exclusive, Arsenal reach agreement with Bayer04 to sign Pierre Hincapie, season long loan from Bayer04 plus buy option, package worth 52 million euros plus 10% sell-on fee, 5-year deal upon permanent transfer, set to travel this weekend for the Arsenal medical. That's what we got from a man known as David Austin. Now, when you hear that, what comes to your mind? Arsenal are really here to obviously get another deal done on transfer, meaning that, on a loan, meaning that they are not in good financial terms to obviously pay out cash. Arsenal have gone ahead to do such deals on various occasions. The most recent one is all about a player called David Raya. As Arsenal was pushing to see to it that they obviously get in a player known as David Raya, they really put in a very huge shift altogether. And guess what? They really did. Arsenal came up and obviously put in a very huge shift, and that shift was to propose a loan to Brentford and then sign the player later. You understand? And why did they obviously act or really go in for that deal like that? Arsenal never had money to obviously buy in this goalkeeper because he came in through for 30 million pounds, and they never wanted to miss out on an opportunity to sign the player, as the player was wanted by Real Madrid, Bayer04 and very many other big clubs, because he was left with just 1 year on his contract and he would obviously leave for peanuts. Now, when the side of Brentford had that, Arsenal wanted the player on loan. They were like, obviously we're taking him on loan, however much this year is really expiring, but the moment the season comes to an end, when he's at loan on Arsenal, then one additional year will be added on his contract. And that's how they came into negotiation with the club of Arsenal to agree on a fee of close to 30 million pounds. 27 million pounds guaranteed, and then the others came in through as add-ons for the player known as David Raya. Now, Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously get into another deal with Bayer04, and they're telling them that let's obviously go ahead and really do this. And what do they want them to do? That deal has gone ahead to be agreed on a fee of 52 million euros. And Arsenal will have to pay a loan fee of 6 million euros, and then they will obviously have to pay 46 million euros in the summer of 2026. That is really mandatory. It's a must that Arsenal has to obviously pay this amount of money. And I tell you, there is no club that will let one of their big stars leave when the clause is not mandatory. That is it. There is no club that will let its star leave when this is not mandatory. And for Pierre Hincapie coming in through at Arsenal, it's really very important because it comes in through when Arsenal have just gone ahead to really get news that the deal of Jakub Kiwior is really going on as planned. And the medical of Hincapie is a little bit delayed. Why is it delayed? The deal is delayed because Hincapie, is really the person that, because the deal of Kiwior has to first go through. That is it. The deal of Kiwior has to first go through, and then Hincapie comes in through. But good news is that Kiwior has gone ahead obviously pass his medical down in FC Porto, meaning that Hincapie will obviously come in through to do the needful and really do his medical as we wait to see how things really pan out. But this is the 8th signing for the club of Arsenal. Never in the history of signing players has Arsenal ever gone ahead obviously go into a market and obviously get in players like they've gone ahead to do in this particular period. I want to bring you up to speed and really read you the players that Arsenal have gone ahead to bring in through. Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea, £5 million. Arsenal went ahead to bring in Christian Nogard, below 20 million euros in there, or 20 million pounds. Arsenal brought in through Martin Zubimendi for 65 million euros. Arsenal went ahead to bring in Noni Madueke for 55 million pounds, plus 5 million pounds of add-ons. Arsenal there went ahead to bring in Mosquera for below 20 million euros from Valencia. Arsenal went ahead to make a 6th signing of Victor Gyökeres into the mix, and they bought him for 68 million plus from Sporting Lisbon. Arsenal too went ahead to put in a very huge shift, and they brought in a player who goes by the names of Ebelechi Eze, and that is the transfer that really happened last week. And Ebelechi Eze knocked on the door of Arsenal, and he really went ahead to put in a very huge shift in there for you. That is Ebelechi Eze for you. So that was the 7th signing for the club of Arsenal, and there comes in the 8th signing for the club of Arsenal, going by names of Pierre Hincapie, coming in through to obviously represent for the club of Arsenal. And we'll have to obviously make some research and see whether he is the first Ecuadorian to obviously come in through and represent for the club of Arsenal. And he's a left back and a left-sided center back and a left back. But one thing I like about him is that he has a very perfect cross on him, and I think Arsenal brought him in to obviously come and service a player known as Victor Gyökeres. The lad has a very good cross on him. Whether he's at the center line, whether he's in the mid of the half of the opponent, or whether he is into the nearing the mixer or the out wide corner flag in there, the lad has a very perfect cross on him. And I tell you what, he will obviously cause havoc to everyone who obviously comes in through to watch in him. So Arsenal have a left back in and a left-sided center back. That's what you're really having in here onto the channel known as Rokani Media Football. So Hincapie is really one of those that will obviously do the needful and join Arsenal before the deadline day. But Arsenal is trying to move out very many players. Kiwior has gone ahead to leave. Zinchenko might leave. Reece Nelson is leaving. Fabio Vieira is going to West Ham. Who else? Arsenal is trying to move out like 5 players in these remaining hours before the summer transfer window really closes tomorrow. And I want to let you know that Arsenal will do what Arsenal do, and they might obviously shock us with another signing, because Andre Batha, their football director, is really unpredictable. Talking about defenders, one of the defenders that served for Manchester United ever since he was signed in by Jose Mourinho, I think in 2018 January transfer window or 2017 January transfer window, that is Victor Lindelof, has obviously gone ahead to obviously join the side of Aston Villa. And Fabrizio Romano came up and told us that Aston Villa are closing in on Victor Lindelof deal. Here we go very soon. Final details being sorted after proposal sent in last night to anticipate Everton and Fiorentina. Understand it's a 2-year deal for Lindelof. And then here we go was later confirmed that Victor Lindelof to Aston Villa, here we go. Medical underway, right now approved by Aston Villa. The agreement is valid until 2027 plus option until June 2028. Higher proposal compared to Fiorentina/Everton. Lindelof said yes and now set for medical at Aston Villa. Now, if you're Aston Villa, you now need to get in experienced players like this dude. I tell you, he's a special kind of player that you will ever need in your club and team. And I really believe in Victor Lindelof on what he is as a player. You know, he is aging like fine wine, ice-cold player. And if you really need a player to obviously strengthen that back line of yours, Victor Lindelof comes in through to obviously do the needful. Though, in the recent past, he has obviously gone ahead to look like an injury-prone player at Manchester United. But United never extended his contract because they felt like the likes of Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven, Matthias De Ligt, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Mazaraoui, name it. They can obviously come in through and really do the job better than him. And they're like, please, thank you for work well done. You've been here for some good years, almost 8 years at the club of Manchester United. And we call it quits with you. And he obviously goes ahead to play for Aston Villa. Aston Villa are really replacing him, I think, for Diego Carlos, because Diego Carlos left, I think, the previous summer, and they now have in this lad. And Pau Torres is really very excited, obviously, be playing with Victor Lindelof, as a player known as Mings is also really having problems with his injury, and I think they needed in other players. So very many players are obviously going to be coming in through, and for Aston Villa, they've gone ahead to get themselves in a precious player that I really feel is ready to obviously do the needful and really put in a very huge shift, as earlier anticipated here onto this beautiful channel of ours known as the Rokani Media Football. So let's obviously welcome Victor Lindelof to Aston Villa, and he will obviously be doing a very good job under a manager known as Unai Emery. And Aston Villa are not obviously spending huge money. They are losing players, but they're not spending huge money. And that means that the sporting director, who goes by names of Monchi, in there, and the manager are really doing a very good job there, because they feel like they have to really not spend, because they've lost Duran, you know, and the player they brought in through is not even, I think, half the price of the money Duran really costed. Oli Watkins might obviously leave, you know. If he doesn't leave this summer, I tell you, January or next summer, he'll leave. And they've gone ahead to lose Jacobs Ramsey in there. So Eddie Buindi, I think, is also leaving. So they've gone ahead to lose a couple of players, but they're really trying to obviously not really lose their focus in there. And remember, Emiliano Martinez is also going to Manchester United. He has already gone ahead to agree personal terms, meaning that the player is close to leaving the club of Manchester United. So we wait and see how things really pan out in here onto the channel known as the Rokani Media Football. But Lindelof has gone ahead to obviously go to the Midlands and is going to be playing for a club known as Aston Villa. Your thoughts on to Hincapie to Arsenal? Here we go. A welcome to the comment section below, as Victor Lindelof also does his here we go to Aston Villa. Rokan David is my name. I'm returning with the match day live, Liverpool versus Arsenal, highly anticipated game of the weekend, and I know you guys are ready for me. Way out.